if we can capture even 1% of the current betting market, it would inject over $300 million a year into the Hedera ecosystem.
So to start, I'd like to talk a little bit about what up-only gaming is. It's something that was pioneered by Karate Combat. And what it allows you to do is, in the case of Karate Combat, you pick the fighters you think are going to win on the card. And if they win, you get more tokens. If you lose, you don't lose anything. And to be able to do that and make it sustainable, you can do it with sponsorships. You can build it into your tokenomics. There's a lot of ways to do that. But what Karate Combat found is it's a great way to engage your fan base. They've had over 100,000 up-only gamers in single events. So they've done a really good job with it, but they wanted to move beyond that. They created a layer 2 that's built on top of Hedera that's going to allow pretty much any league to do the same exact thing and engage with their fans in a completely new way. And I've done it personally. I became a huge fan, as many of you know, of Karate Combat because when I had that skin in the game and I participated in the Karate Combat events, it really made it some of the most exciting sporting events I've ever seen. And I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan, so we've had some Super Bowls lately, and I can still say that with confidence. But today we have 2 of the leagues that are going to be also building on Up Layer 2 to enhance their leagues with this up-only gaming phenomenon, this revolution. And we have today Richie. He's with Top Flight Football, and we also have Brandon with World Calisthenics Organization who are going to do this. So, guys, thanks for hopping on.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for giving us your time, Brandon.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm excited what you guys are doing, but I want to kind of lay a baseline of what you guys have built to this point. So let's just talk about the leagues you've built and the platforms that you're going to build from here on out. Brendan, we'll start with you. Tell us about World Calisthenics Organization.
So WCO started about 13 years ago after I sold my company I invented a fitness product many, many years ago, suspension training. You guys might have heard of it. It's the equivalent to TRX. It's a kind of like gymnastics rings, but I sold the company, and a couple of the guys, when I was doing one of my booths, came in and started doing calisthenics, and it took me right back to my junior high school days. So once I sold the company, I started, the focus was the educational side of it, because I come from a coaching and education background in fitness, but also the competitive side, right? Where I saw this as a sport where gymnastics has a lot of point deductions, a lot of perfections, a lot of band movements, a lot of things that you cannot do. And the freedom and creativity of street workout, freestyle calisthenics, I just saw this vision. And the first thing I thought was, it went back to my jiu-jitsu roots of open tournaments, because it was a brand new sport that we were creating, right? So there weren't a lot of athletes, especially in weight classes. So we started it off as open tournaments for the first 2 years. And each tournament, I basically charged people to get into the tournament, and all that money went back to the winners with the overall goal of weight classes, world champion title events. And ever since then, since 2015, going into 2016, we've done nothing but one-on-one battles. It's like, this is one of those words, it's like gymnastics on crack. And I mean, it literally is. When you see what's going on, the entertainment side of the visual aspect of it is just beautiful. And then you start to, think about the educational side, the health benefits. And when you look at a sport, generally, there's going to be some type of activity, football, baseball, basketball. You have training, you have all types of workouts that you have to do. This is the purest form of fitness as a competition. It's quite breathtaking when you see what these men and women do, girls and boys also. I have 12-year-olds that are doing things that will blow your mind. And this is the beauty of it. It's like soccer, football, football. You start kids at 5 or 6 years old, and it gives them a healthy outlook on life, that competitive spirit, and it drives them to do better, right? So this is something that we have a massive demographic, and we're focused on health and fitness and the entertainment competitive aspect of it also.
Well, Brendan, one of the things that I loved about this, you can't participate in every, token sale, every INO that gets out there. And initially I was like, I'm not sure if I'm going to participate in this. And then I saw some of your competitions and it got me to go down and do a few pull-ups. And I realized that there's a few buckets with Up Only Gaming. There's, the bucket where it's a pure spectator sport. Karate Combat falls into that. And certainly Top Flight Football falls into that. I think that has a ton of potential. But yours has the aspect of the people that are participating in it can go out and do that health and fitness, those routines themselves. Maybe not the crazy stuff as far as the entertainment side, but they can get involved and get a lot more hands-on. And I think that has a ton of potential. But I think we should go over to the other side real quick. Richie, tell us about Top Flight Football and why you wanted to move in that direction.
Yeah, sure. But first of all, I'd like to say gymnastics on crack. Now, that is something I pay to see. That has potential.
Right.
But yeah, Top Flight Football, obviously known as soccer in the US. We celebrated our first birthday in May just gone. Top Flight is a football-based play-to-earn game. It'll be available on the web and mobile applications, and obviously being developed on Hedera Network and Karate Combat's Up Layer 2. The game will run on the Up Only gaming systems, which, as you've described, rewards players for the voting on the correct outcome of real-life football matches using our utility token football, where with no bet end, no risk of loss. So if you pick the correct winner, you earn more football. If you pick wrong, you lose nothing. Exactly the same as we're running with the WCO.
So going with that, you already have an established fan base. You don't get, more passionate fans than what you see with the Premier League over there in the UK. Why did you decide to go in that direction?
Well, football's widely known as the world sport, and for good reason. It's estimated to have a following of 3.5 billion fans worldwide, and this eclipses the nearest competitor, cricket, in viewership by more than 1 billion fans. If you look at what are the most watched sporting events of all time, you'll find the number one spot by a large margin being the 2022 FIFA World Cup, followed in second by the 2012 opening ceremony of the Olympics in Beijing, and then again in third, you'll find football, which is the 2024 Champions League final. So given this information, it shows a huge market potential for football fans across the globe. I don't think it's difficult to see why football is the best choice to take SportFi to the next level. It's our mission to onboard as many of these billions of fans as possible to Hedera. Being from the UK as well, as you said, football is the lifeblood of our culture, and you'll find that same culture in countries all across the world. You're born, live, and die wearing the colours of your team. And as we mentioned, for big events such as the World Cup, the whole world stops and tunes in. When I first experienced Up Only Gaming, I was instantly hooked, and it brings all the thrill of betting whilst watching your favourite sport, but without the fear of losing this week's rent. In the UK, gambling's also a real problem. Addiction's rife, and many of my own friends will happily stay up till 3 a.m. watching Lithuanian women's third division netball just to have something to bet on. Betting causes people not just to lose their money, but their homes, their relationships, and more. Up Only Gaming provides a solution to this problem by offering a way for people to enjoy the same thrill, but without the consequences that come when the bets don't come off. Football makes up also approximately about 30% of the global sports betting market. In 2024, that was valued at $30 billion just for football, and it's expected to double by 2030. So our goal is to convert as much of this market as possible to Up Only Gaming, and we have a keen focus on onboarding users directly from Web 2. If we can capture even 1% of the current betting market, it would inject over $300 million a year into the Hedera ecosystem.
Absolutely incredible. And you already answered my next question, why you wanted to incorporate Up Only Gaming into your platform. But Brendan, what about you? Why did you want to go the route of Up Only Gaming?
When you start looking at gambling, as much as I love the adrenaline rush, I love going to Vegas. Don't get me wrong. I'll go play the slots. I'll go play blackjack and poker. But when it comes to gambling on sports, I try to stay away from it because I do understand that fandom, you can get in some trouble financially if you're really deep into it. When I discovered Karate Combat, it's like the gates of heaven opened, where I was able to see oh my God, these guys have created one of the biggest and fastest growing sports being mixed martial arts and martial arts, period. Combat sports. But the fact that you're able to purchase tokens, wager those tokens without saying betting, voting on who you think or predicting who you think is going to win a fight, and not having a loss if you don't choose the right fighter. That was mind-blowing to me. And that's only something that can be done on blockchain. It can't be done in the standard world. It can't be done normally. And once I saw this, innovation is part of every business. And if you're not innovating, you're going to fall behind. So 2.5 years ago, almost 3 years ago, I started building on chain. And I looked at a different chain previously, which was very difficult to understand, to get my athletes to understand. There was a lot of different things with the MetaMask wallet and very confusing to the layman. And when you're dealing with athletes, you cannot make things difficult. It has to be seamless. It has to be easy. The fans have got to make it easy and seamless also. Karate Combat Stack absolutely did that. And, for me, I would have loved to do betas, right? Like football did, like the actual A7s, I think it's called, UAB. But for me to throw basically a beta event, even if it's small, my cost is $50,000 to $60,000 just to throw a beta, because I have to fly athletes in from all over the world. I pay them. It's just like mixed martial arts, contractually, all that stuff. So as much as I wanted to, I couldn't do a beta. So what I'm doing is I'm going to be building Battle of the Bars on Up as our own app, not embedded into as a beta version. So, we're taking the time right now to really focus on what we're doing. Up only is hands down, this one application is hands down going to change sports and the era of sports and fan engagement. And it's crazy to think that a small brand like Karate Combat has come out with this when you have multi-billion-dollar brands that are struggling to think about what blockchain is. And that's the benefit to us. The small guys are able to pivot quickly, build quickly, and move quickly. The big guys, they can't do it. So we're here, just like Top Flight and Karate Combat as the leader of this, right? Karate Combat, you've got to give the kudos to these guys, Only LARPing and President Awesome, for what they've built, how they produced it, and how they've gone about, I would say, promoting it to the world, right? Where it's not confusing, it's very simple, and you can become one of those super fans without risking a loss. It's freaking mind-blowing, if you ask me.
Yeah, no, I've really become passionate about everything that I'm seeing. And, you have the first leader that gets out there with Karate Combat, but it's important to have those followers to make sure that the concept gets out there and everything else. And I'm not going to act as if there's no risks involved at all. There are some risks, and I'll touch on a couple of those. And of course, we're not giving financial advice here. Make sure you understand your local laws and regulations. And, some of the risks involved certainly include you could buy the token and the token value could go down. Even if you are getting additional tokens in the event. So there is a risk there. You have to deal with self-custody because these applications are going to be wallets. So you have to make sure you manage those keys effectively, things along those lines. But it is absolutely a revolution. And I do want to get into, you have to get those tokens out there someplace. And again, this isn't financial advice, but you guys both have something going on right now. And I wanted to give you a chance to be able to talk about it a little bit. Richie, I'll start with you. You're doing an INO. Tell us about it.
Yes, we've been running our INO this weekend. We've been running our marketing campaigns for a while now, getting all our partners involved, and it's just been really great seeing the whole Hedera ecosystem and beyond coming together. Everyone wants to help out and raise you up together, one up, all up. There we go. I like that one. Yeah, on Saturday we launched our gold jersey sale, and that's run really, really smoothly. A lot of people have been taking those. Silver just closed a few hours ago of this recording, and now we're on to the final stage, which is our bronze jerseys. They're on sale for $75, and they entitle you to 450,000 football tokens allocation. If you get all three, then you get the Hat-Trick Hero, which is a really special piece of artwork. We've had our artwork designed by Jesse, also known as Jaderism, and he's an Emmy Award-winning digital artist. He's won an Emmy for his work on Star Wars Clone Wars, which I used to love as a kid. He's also worked on a lot of other big projects and had partnerships with Adidas and also. So he's an awesome artist. You get that NFT as well if you get the full set for free, which entitles you to a bonus allocation of football. And then we'll be launching, once that concludes, we'll be shortly launching on the Sorcerer Swap decks.
All right, good to hear. Brendan, tell us about yours.
A couple weeks ago, we've been doing some teaser leaks with our NFTs. We're basically doing a governor's NFT, right? Following the model of Karate Combat, but really bringing it to an exclusive group of people. 800 maximum NFTs, maximum governors, because that to me is something that's controllable and I could have a relationship with each of these people. And then what we're doing is I had to make it different. So we have 3 different tiers. We have diamond, platinum, gold, which are going to come with different token allocations. Diamond comes with 10.5 million Battle of the Bars tokens. The platinum is 8.5 million, gold 6.5 million. We are going to have 100 billion total tokens, max supply, and we're going to come out with 14 billion of those. Half of that goes to our governors as they purchase the NFTs. The other half obviously goes out onto the market so people can buy them once we build up only and they can get their Battle of the Bars tokens. But we had to do it a little bit different. Because I'm a California-based company, we have to look at everything that has to do with regulations, laws, and all of that fun stuff. Because I don't want to get caught, with my pants down doing anything wrong that's going to possibly harm the company. So in order to do ours, I cannot do a token airdrop. So what we're doing is, if you believe in the sport, if you believe in what we're doing, and you know where Web3 and sports is going on Hedera, my token's vested. So once you buy your NFT, we're doing, our test net will be coming out pretty soon. We're working on it with IvyFi. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your NFT, you're going to log in and connect your wallet to the IvyFi app. You're going to claim your tokens every month. So each month, based on what your NFT level is, log in, connect your wallet, claim your tokens every month, or you're also going to be able to claim, then stake, right? Because you're not going to be able to use your tokens right off the bat. You're going to have to wait for us to build on Up Only, which we're working on that HBAR Foundation grant to help us along with that. But it's really about getting tokens to people the proper way and making sure that we're taking care of the governors first. All other people that will come in and buy tokens, not financial advice. We can't say, just like you said, Brandon, is, the token could go up, the token could go down. But what I'm avoiding is, first, I don't have any VCs. I have no debt. And I do not want to come into this scenario where big whales I owe money to, and they're going to have to cash out. And unfortunately, that's what kind of hit Karate Combat quickly, which is not a problem because you have VCs that need their money back. But once that starts happening, you have to start looking at, the token value, and people sell. And I think the education side of it is very important for the fighters too, to understand that they shouldn't sell their tokens after they win. They should stack their tokens, put them in a savings account, look at how that's going to grow and support the ecosystem, right? I'm just one of those guys, and then I'll stop, is you're a fool if you're going to buy something for 20 cents and you're going to sell it at 22 cents. To make 2 cents profit, you're an absolute moron. Hold that, watch the value go up, watch it grow. Of course we want profit. Of course we want to take some money out. And this is a game of crypto and earning money. But you also got to be smart about it. Like, I see people dumping tokens at the 26 range and it goes down to 24. And I get it, but hold tight. HBAR is going to be something that is going to blow people's minds. And I guarantee that for the direct to consumer, I don't even like to call it the retail market because we're not retail. We're sports. Sports goes beyond markets. Sports is eternal. Sports is something that never ends. Sports is based on fans and those emotions. And when you got fans with emotions, they are diehard. So that's where we're at with our NFT and what we're doing. You can get it on Kabula right now on the launch pad right next to the Top Flight Football NFTs. And the goal is being with people like yourself, Brandon, people like you, Richie, that understand what sports can bring to a network. I don't think the guys in the top upper echelons of Hedera have quite understood this yet, what we are bringing. But I think the more noise that we make, the more that we're going to catch their attention. And then the more they're going to look back on sports and go, this is something that we need to focus on.
Amen, brother. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on today and telling us all about what you're working on. I think you're both going to be really successful. And thanks for building on Hedera.
Let's go.
I'm now posting these interviews of Hedera builders independently to my channel. The community, influencers, and media outlets are free to use this content to spread the word on what's being built on Hedera. Once they're all uploaded, you'll be able to go to my channel and search for whatever topic or team you're interested in to find more information. or you'll be able to get the most recent Hedera news by watching the latest HBAR weekly update. So check them out.